So the Kenwood Trail goes through land that has been disturbed by various things over the years. The railroad, you know, went through here originally, and so when the railroad was built, a lot of the adjacent land was damaged in many ways. And then when the trail went in, there was also a lot of movement of plants and soil. And so because of that disturbance, we have quite a few plants that we would consider to be invasive species. And they have many different life histories. And so we're going to look at one of these right in front of you. It's called Japanese hops. So this plant is a vine, and it is actually related to the hops that's used to make beer. However, it's not as good as the regular species for beer, so you really wouldn't use this one as a flavoring. This plant is an annual. That means it grows from seed every year and then it dies down in the winter, but it can grow really a lot in one single year, as much as 30 feet, and the plant is kind of vining. You can see it here. It has these 5 leaflets. It's called palmately compound leaves, kind of looks like the fingers on your hand. But the plant is kind of unpleasant because not only does it grow really fast and cover up other plants, it's also very prickly, and so it's not much fun to pull it as a weed. Some other plants are easier to control. However, much of the hops on the trail right now has a disease. So if you take a look, many of the leaves are covered with this whitish powdery stuff, and this is actually a disease called powdery mildew, and it's caused by a fungus. And it's really controlling the hops. It's really damaging it so that maybe it won't flower and produce seeds, which would be a good thing for the trail. Now, powdery mildew diseases are very specific, and by that I mean that the disease that causes powdery mildew on hops won't hurt other plants. If we had a field of commercial hops in this area, that would be bad. But otherwise, the only plant that this disease can harm is this Japanese hops. So if you want to help us control it, you could take some of the leaves that have this powdery mildew on it, and you could carry them up the trail and put them on other hops plants that look healthy. So if you want to take a few leaves with you, be careful because they're very prickly. As you walk along the trail, look for hops that are not infected, and then you could sprinkle the leaves from this plant there, and maybe those hops plants will get infected. This kind of strategy is what's called a biocontrol strategy for controlling weeds. That's where you take a disease and try to control your invasive plant by using a disease-causing organism. So if you would like to help us with biocontrol on the trail, you could pick some diseased hops leaves and take them to another part of the trail where there's healthy hops. Hope you're enjoying your walk along the Kenwood Heritage Trail.